Okay, so what we'll do in this class, since we have had quite a long break, is kind of reconnect with the progression of the topics. I don't want to completely summarize it. We will look at what we have done till now as a progression of ideas. How did it start? What was the big idea, first big idea, second big idea, third big idea, and then how is it progressing to what we are going to study now. So the topic that we are going to come to now, I think we already had started. I did not remember that before, but we had started about the theory of actions, right? The illusion of control, right? And so what we are going to do is we'll also look at it in the context of Western understanding of karma. So in the West, what does control mean? Control means empowerment, right? How will you be empowered? How do you get empowered? When you take control, right? You take control of things. Don't let somebody else dictate. You need to do, right? That's fundamental to a Western thinking. But in Indian traditions, when you come to that, Indian traditions say it's an illusion of control. Control is an illusion. We think we are in control of things that we don't control. So now you got to compare those two and see what is this illusion of control, and why does the West say that control is empowerment, which it is. But here we are saying that sense of control itself is an illusion. So an empowerment is an illusion empowerment, but not a real empowerment. Those are two different things. So not just understand this, understand it in the context of its complete opposite concept of Western understanding of control. Okay, so let's look at the progression of this topic in this chapter. So let me erase this. So how did the chapter start? The chapter started with Arjuna asking the question, hey, if everything or all there is out here, that is, if understanding is all that is needed to bring an end to suffering, right? Then karma is what? Karma becomes a baggage. Why should I do anything? All I need to do is to get that right understanding by some means, right? Everything else, being a warrior, fighting a war, doing this thing, doing that thing, is all excess. It's a baggage. It's unnecessary if understanding is all that is required to bring an end to suffering, right? Which is what Krishna meant in the second chapter, but he also added a few things which confused Arjuna. So Arjuna is saying, if understanding is all there is to bringing an end to suffering, then karma is a baggage which we don't need to carry. I want to drop that off. Why do I need to be a warrior? And jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhi tat kim karmani ghore mam niyojasi Keshava. That is, he's saying, not only karma, you are asking me to fight a war in which hatred, anger and all these bad things are there. You are not even saying cultivate good things and start studying and do all this meditation and all those kinds of karma which has a direct correlation with understanding. You're not even saying that. You're saying go fight a war in which all bad emotions, come to forefront. So he says, Vyamishrena iva vakyena buddhim mohayasi iva me. That means you're mixing up all these things and you're confusing me. So tadekam vada nischitya yena shreyaha aham apnuyam. Tell me one thing for certain by which I attain my highest good, Shreyas. So this is how it starts, right? Is karma a baggage or an asset? Right? Is karma an enabler or is it a baggage that you just throw away? Okay? That's how he started. So Krishna goes to the fundamentals of karma theory. He says, to answer Arjuna's question, action is, so that's the first big idea. What's the first big idea in this chapter? first big idea in the first 6 or 7 shlokas is action is by default, inaction is not. Right? Arjuna gave his reasons that inaction in terms of not going to war and all that is the correct way to do if understanding is the highest good. Arjuna gave his reasons, but from our perspective we think Newton's law, inertia is the natural state. So our natural state is to sleep and relax at home. Anything extra that we do is not our natural state. But Krishna is saying no. State of action is the natural state. Relaxation is an unnatural state that you go to recover, come back to the default state. Relaxation is a recovery to come back to the action state. So action is default. Right? Action is default. Inaction is not. So that means what Krishna is saying here is karma is inevitable. Either you treat it as a baggage or as an asset, it is always going to be there. Right? If you treat it as a baggage, then your whole journey is messed up. If you treat it as an asset, then it becomes an enabler to reach the highest good. Right? It's up to you how you make it. But do not think that it is a baggage that you can toss away and be free and go away. It does not work like that. So, because action is default. Even if you don't wish to do, like we think inertia is the natural state. If somebody says, I'll give you $1 million, I'll give up everything, I'll sleep at home. That's mind telling you that story. But 2 days, 3 days, 4 days after that, boredom is going to kill you and you're going to come back to active state. Right? Because active state is a natural state. Passive state is not. Right? So that is what Krishna is saying here. Karma is inevitable, whether you like it or not. Learn to deal with it. Is number 1. Right? What is the number 2 big idea? So if karma is inevitable, then what is the next question? What's the next question?
Good karma.
What kind of karma, right? So what kind of karma, not just what kind of karma, because if karma is inevitable, now either there are 3 ways of doing karma. Either you do karma as a tamasic way, or a rajasic way, or a sattvic way. What is tamasic way of doing karma? Karma as a chore, right? Karma, which is a manual labor. I need to put food on the table. It is inevitable. I have to do it. Therefore, I am doing. If somebody gives me some money, this is the first thing I'll throw away and go. That kind of doing, because of something that's forcing you to do, what kind of karma is that? Tamasic karma. Tamasic karma, painful karma. It's a pain to do it, but you are going through the pain and suffering because it is inevitable. You have to do it. That is tamasic karma. What is the rajasic karma?
Some object.
You don't have to do anything because you're...
No, rajasic karma is for power, right? So tamasic karma is for money, right? To get something. Monday morning, right? Monday morning, I have to go to work. That is tamas. Rajasic karma is career oriented, because rajas is the main driver of karma, right? Rajas is desire. Desire drives karma. The main driver of karma is rajas. In this state is those high achievers, who overwork, who have, 10 years down the line, I'm the CEO, I look myself, this is what I picture myself as. All of those things, that is rajasic. That means what takes the centerpiece of that in that ideology?
Desire.
Yes, but what takes the centerpiece? Self. I. Right? I is centered in rajasic karma. And the main motivation is power. I want power. and therefore that motivates me to act and act more. So that is Rajasic karma. So these are two kinds of karma. Now what is Sattvic karma?
Selfless.
Selfless karma, but it is more than selfless karma. Right?
It's transformative.
It's transformative. It is when the karma actually transforms into something meaningful. I mean, there are people, if you don't give them money, they stop working. People who are in pursuit of power, if they lose the thing that they cannot get power through this, they stop working. There are people who work because of work. Their satisfaction is in what they are doing. Right? They derive the meaning in their work. What is that karma? That is sattvic way of doing karma. Where the karma is done because it is meaningful. There is a big picture view of karma. Right? And what is that transformation of any karma into this big picture meaningful karma? What is it? What is that process that Krishna talks about? Yajna, right? That is what yajna is. That's the second big idea. Yajna is what? Yajna is a transformation of any karma. It is any kind of karma. It is a regular karma, daily karma, special karma, anything that you do into something that transcends self. That means it goes beyond rajas and sees a higher meaning and higher purpose in what one is doing. So it is not just me. We are thinking of in terms of how it is going to affect generations, how it's going to affect society, how it's going to shape things. When you start thinking like that, that is transformed into a very narrow focus of rajas and tamas to a very broad focus of sattva. Where sattva thinks about generations, it thinks about the big picture, it thinks about meaning, sense, direction, all of those things comes under sattva. So, what Krishna told Arjuna is how to transform any karma, anything that you do into a yajna, which is basically sattvic karma. So, yajna is what? Basically meaningful work. Is meaningful karma. Karma which makes sense. Right? It's not karma for power, it's not karma for food, it is karma for something very meaningful, very sensible. So that is the second big idea. What is the third big idea? We talked about 4 ideas. What is the third big idea? That's the 5th one that we're going to. That's the 5th and final one in this chapter. Role models. Right? What does Krishna say? Fantastic. He says, Yadyad acharati shreshtaha tattadeva itaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokaha tad anuvartate. That means, whatever the best do, others, the public, follow that. They look up to people. Sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. Whatever they say is the proof of things. The whole world takes it to mean that's the right way to do. Right? So that means, if somebody says, hey, I did it, through this fraud, and see how I am. If that is given a lot of publicity, they become role models to younger generations who say that is the way to go. That is the role model. Right? So, from yajna, see, these two are individual. This is where society comes. Right? And an individual who is acting, even as an yajna, he is acting in 2 domains simultaneously. One, he is acting for himself. It's very sensible, very meaningful for him. He is also setting an example to society at the same time. So he has dual duties. One to himself and the other to society. So what Krishna is saying to Arjuna is, what you do in this battlefield not only has an effect on you, it has the effect on generations to come who will look up to you. So you have double responsibility to do the right thing. And then Krishna talks about what? The importance of having role model in society, because that is the one that shapes generations to come. Right? Role models are the ones that shapes generations to come. If you have them, sustain them, well, it's good. Otherwise, in the vacuum, people you don't desire might occupy that space and become role models. Because it is very natural for us to see someone better and try to copy. That's nature. So who is our role model today? Shah Rukh Khan? Huh? Oh no, Salman.
But he's good.
See?
The way he's come up.
No, but role model is much more than that. Right? Role model is setting an example of doing the right things the right way. Right? Role models are those big guys, right? Patel, Sardar Patel, or Bhagal, people who have suffered, who have come up the hard way, who have set an example to the society. Right? Those are role models which should be front and center in our education system. And as a part of that, we studied, we learned the Taittiriya Upanishad, the world's oldest convocation speech, where the Rishi is saying, role model, this is the most fundamental thing to have in society. Have good role models that you can mimic. Right? So that is the third big idea. Fourth big idea, what is the fourth progression?
Role models can differ, right? It can be either sattvic role model, or it can be either Rajasic.
No, role model is natural, correct. See, having a role model is a natural act, right? But making sure that your system has the sattvic role model is up to you. If you don't take care of it, then Rajasic role model or Tamasic role model will come. Hitler is also a role model because he achieved big things. Or Gandhi is also a role model. In the absence of Gandhi, if you only talk about Hitler, then he becomes a natural role model, right? Gandhi will not be there. So that is the thing. So you have sattvic role models. You have people who have done big things for power. You have people who have done very good things without asking for anything. You have people who have done worse things. So it's all of the three, we look up to, because we are not capable of doing that. So we look up to all the three. Which gets all the glamour and publicity is the one we look to. Right? If you don't control that in your education system, what is the natural tendency? You look at Rajasic, right?
Yeah, you look at Rajasic.
Rajasic or Tamasic, we don't look at Tamasic, but again, it's an awe. It's like, oh, he did all these things. Right? So, but the education system, what he is saying is, it's natural to have role models, but it is your duty to come up with the correct role model in your system. That's what he's saying here.
So I think she brings up a good point in the sense that we are very selective in who we decide needs to be our role model. Like Tiger Woods. If I'm passionate about golf, I may very well look towards Tiger Woods as a role model, especially with regards to how he plays tennis, his dedication, his discipline, so on and so forth. But we also know that he has other character issues and flaws which you should not lean towards. So I think but I can still have him as a role model, but in a very selected and from a narrow point of view.
Right. Yeah. That's why it is that important to have the correct role model that you know, right? Because if you don't know somebody and you have a role model,
Sure.
and then different aspects of their life get revealed, then it's trouble, and you need to toss them away. It's not like you have one role model and that's for life. If they are not fit, then you need to look up to somebody who is fit. But the important thing is to systematize it so that people have things to look at and follow, rather than creating a vacuum and take things happening on their own. Look at American education system. It's systematized. They have all these. They think about all these things. role models and all of those things. Us, we drift along, fine, and whatever happens, happens. And we pick things. Some things are good, some things are not. Some things happen within family, good, they have a good family background, they have good role models and all that. But as a society, as a system, there is nothing like that. There's nothing, where you give prominence to all these good people who have done great things.
We have a history course.
Huh?
Unless you take a history course.
Yeah, maybe history or whatever, but it's a part of the system. Yeah, you had something?
No, I'm saying. No, they used to read about all these leaders, as Indian leaders.
No, as a part of it, the whole stress was something else. Right? It is more, in terms of when did they do it, what they did, that's it. How many points you can put it on paper.
But that's why I meant historical point of view, right?
But it's not what is the essence of this person as opposed to essence of this person. That kind of conceptual thing was never done. At least I was not able to do that. So, and so what's the next one? Next big idea.
Illusion of control.
Well, that's the fifth one. So illusion of control is the fifth one. What's the next one? How to bring about transformation. Because role model is about transformation. So you need to know how to transform, how to change.
Relatability.
What are the two things?
Relatability and not needing force to change.
Exactly. Two things, right? Krishna says, Na buddhi vedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam joshayet sarvakarmani vidvan yuktas samacharan. Very clear. He says, do not confuse or force people to come to your way. Let them do what they are comfortable with. Let them do their thing. So how do I bring about transformation? Joshayet sarvakarmani vidvan yuktas samacharan. You need to inspire the other by you doing the right thing the right way. When you do the right things the right way, then they will eventually look at you and get inspired by you and change their ways. Right? You should never, so transformation, two things we talked about transformation was one, never force a change. Because when you force, what you get is a change, not a transformation. Right? Transformation is what? Something that comes from within. That coming from within happens when nobody preaches you. Right? They do and you learn that change. That becomes a transformation. When you become very preachy, that becomes a force to change. Krishna says, never force the change. Because change never happens with force. Transformation happens with setting examples. Not lead, but walk the walk. Don't even talk. That's what Krishna is saying. Na buddhi vedam janayat means don't even talk. Walk the walk. Right? Okay, so that one is, so transformation is the fourth big idea. And the two aspects is not use the force, and the other one is relatability. Relatability is transformation happens if somebody is close to what you are. You cannot look at somebody who's too good and be influenced by them. It should be very relatable.
Realistic versus idealistic.
Idealistic versus realistic, as in, hey, if he can do it, I can also do it. Transformation happens that way. Transformation doesn't happen, this guy, he's trained. He trains 365 days a year. I cannot do that, so I cannot achieve. So that's not transformation. Yeah.
So in your work environment, right, you see people, you learn through mistakes, right? And you see the people either working for you or with you are going to make that same, especially in the engineering field, you know exactly where they're going to land up, right? So you have to teach them.
Yes.
You explain them rather than wait for them to learn from their mistakes, right? Of course, they remember better. But so, and the same thing if you apply to your children. You have lived through that experience and you want to bring that transformation in them. So even though you're
So what I would say is, what Krishna is saying here is, you give them the direction that they need to go, but the way they go through it is their own. You cannot control both the means and the end. You cannot tell your kids, you have to do it this way because I did it that way, and you need to attain this. That does not happen. What Krishna is saying is, they have each one of us. In the final shloka of this chapter, he says, each one of us has our own strengths and weaknesses, right? So you need to tap into that strength, and that becomes your path. So the transformation is giving direction, but the means is your own. When that is your own, then that is what that they feel they are doing it. Otherwise, you are forcing both the means and the end, and that does not work. It becomes a force. Giving direction is fine, right? You said this is the direction. That's fine. But how they achieve it is up to them. How they come about it is up to them. So transformation happens that way. When you own it, it is transformation. But when you force it, it is change, and it is artificial. It's not natural. So these are the 4 big ideas that we talked about, in all those classes on chapter 3. So now we come to illusion of control. So how did we progress from this topic to this topic? Why is this topic essential after talking about transformation? Why should Krishna deal with illusion of control after talking about all of these things and after talking about transformation? Why is illusion of control important after this?
Maybe because the person who is doing doesn't need to think that he is the one.
We don't get the results that we expect. We will not get the results that we think because of our efforts we got them.
So what's wrong in that?
There is illusion of control.
No, but what is wrong in it? No, I'm saying it's illusion of control.
It can also fail or it can.
Yes, yeah.
So I think the Rajasic will take over when you think like that. So you still need to be.
But what is wrong in that?
It's the I-ness. Thinking, I did it, but is it really you what you make for this?
But how does it come from transformation to this?
Because, okay, you can set yourself an example, you can be role model, and then you don't want to make yourself what they call ahankar, thinking, oh, I did it, and I'm this.
I think you're only
to make sure it
transforming
doesn't
yourself.
influence you.
Okay.
If you transform only yourself, that's the problem. If you're transforming others, I think that becomes now the selfless karma.
Okay.
That becomes the illusion.
In the context, yeah.
You only influenced the change and you really did not change anything. That's what it is. Is that why it says that? It says that it's an illusion of control. You think you are in control.
But you are not.
You're not.
Yes. The progression is this, right? When you are transforming, you are not actually transforming. You are doing your thing and setting an example, and people are transforming. How many of the people will transform? There will be a set of people who will completely transform, because of that example. There will be other set of people who will sit up and notice, and that's about it. And there will be other set of people who will say, I don't care, and do their thing.
And there will be other set of people who criticize.
Yeah, all of those things, right? All of these things are there.
If it comes to the outcome, you can't do your karma for the transformation,
Right.
change, but you can't control what's gonna.
So the thing is, so what one needs to understand when one is a role model or one is transforming is what is fundamental. I cannot change everybody. Right?
I cannot change anybody.
Correct. I cannot change anybody. That is best. That's what illusion of control is, right? So I cannot change anybody means I will not be able to. I will not do anything. But let's put it as I will not be able to change the world. That which America is so fond of saying, I want to transform the world, right? But here in the Gita, it says, first thing first, you will not change the world. get that in your mind. You might change a set of people, and they'll completely. Then you might change, or you might have some set of people sit up and notice, and you might have a large number of people criticize or be indifferent and don't care. If you worry about that, you cannot go through this. So what should you do? Just do your karma. But now, how do you understand? How do you understand, and how do you, get that point that you cannot change the world? A person who is doing this transformation should have this fundamental idea that, hey, I have no illusions about it. I know there will be some people who will benefit from it, and that's all I need. That's it. And maybe, that some will benefit some other, it might go like that. But we do not control that. We do not control how that thing that we bring to the world transforms the world. We don't control. What we bring to the world, we control. But how that happens, transforms, or how that changes in the world, we don't control. So it is essential to know how those things happen. Otherwise, you will be in the, illusion that, hey, I'm going through this walk, I'm walking this walk, I'm seeing nobody's changing, I'm getting very frustrated, and then now I want to start preaching and all of those things, So if you don't even have illusion, then you'll say, okay, I'm doing my thing. If they learn, they learn, and I'm very, very sincere about teaching, I will do it, but if it helps even one, that's good enough.
That goes back to the concept of yajna, which basically is doing it's meaningful karma basically,
correct.
And it's not doing it for any specific purpose per se. It's doing it for the right reason, and so I think all those steps are sequential. So
yes.
If you go back, or either you go from 1 to 5 or 5 to 1, it's all logical.
Yes.
It's not just transformation. Then you go back to the concept of yajna. Everything you do is a yajna.
Yes. Can be transformed into a yajna.
Exactly.
Yes.
Theoretically, if everything you do all day long is a yajna, then there is no sense of desire to be in control. That's the key. There is
yes.
no desire to be in control.
No, even if you desire, you cannot be in control. You will be in the illusion of control, but you can never be in control.
Correct. But if you're performing a yajna, there is no desire to even be in control.
Correct.
That's, I think, it really follows a proper sequence.
Right. So that is...
We do control. It's not like we don't control anything. We do control stuff, but not 100%.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When I say we don't control, that means we don't... See, the fundamental teaching of Chapter 3, if you need it in one sentence, we control the means, not the end. That's it. If you are under the illusion that you control the end, that is the cause of all suffering. Because all you can control is the means, not the end. So all this is leading to that. So when I say we don't control, I mean we don't control other than what we do. Other things we don't control. So that is what illusion of control is. Right? So let's look at, I think 27, Shloka 27. So Shloka 27 reconnects to what? Chapter 2. What are the two illusions in chapter 2? What are the two illusions that's built into nature that we always have? Two illusions.
Illusion of permanence and illusion of control.
Right? Illusion of permanence and illusion of control. So what Krishna is doing here is explaining more this concept of illusion of control that he already dealt with in the second chapter. So what does he say here? Prakrutehe kriyamanani gunaihi karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudatma karta aham iti manyate. Simply, what he is saying is this. Prakriti's gunas cause karma, deluded by ego, the agent or the one who is performing thinks I did it. Simple explanation. But There are so many things tied into this that I'll have to unravel each portion of it. Right? So now, Prakriti Guna causes karma. What does that mean? What is Prakriti Guna?
Is it nature? We got to pay back to nature.
No, Prakriti. Prakriti Guna. What is the Guna?
Yeah, character of each
Nature's
individual.
No. What is the Triguna? What is nature's Trigunas? I keep writing every day.
That was Rajasthan.
Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Guna. Right? Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Guna is Prakriti Gunas. Prakriti means these three gunas. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. One is excess energy, one is lack of energy, and one is a balance. Right? Basically, that's what these three gunas are. So these three gunas cause all actions. I think I did it because I am deluded by ahankara. Right? Here, there are three levels of looking at. Let me erase this. So this is the complete comprehensive theory of illusion of control. Right? So I am going to explain this in detail. What is illusion of control? Okay, so Prakruti can be Ishvara Prakriti, Prakriti, nature, and Jiva Prakriti, Swabhava, individual. All the three. So in one word, all the three are meant. So let's see this. So, I'll say God here. Nature and individual. Prakriti Guna can refer to God's gunas, which is God is Ichcha, Jnana, Ichcha, Kriya. Three. Right? Jnana, Ichcha, Kriya. Three aspects of God, divinity, is the Prakriti, the God's gunas. Jnana, Ichcha, Kriya. Nature's gunas. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, Tamoguna. Right? And individuals, his nature. Right? Uttama, Madhyama, Adama. Right? Good, bad, ugly. Uttama, Madhyama, and Adama. So these are referring to all the three. These are three kinds of individuals, three kinds of potencies, and three aspects of God. I see some question mark on your face.
I didn't know how you saw those three in this one poem. I'm trying to understand that. That was good.
No. See, Prakriti. Prakrishta kritihi iti prakritihi. That means one who creates perfection is God. Perfect creation, Prakriti, is nature. Prakriti, individual nature. My Prakriti. All the three. So that word Prakriti, Prakrishta kriti, and as a creator, created and individual. You can divide. And Guna is Guna. When you say creator, creator's Guna is what? His omniscience, right? His Ichcha, God's will, Ichcha, and Kriya. He is the primary cause of everything. So all these three are the gunas of that Prakriti, God. Nature, Prakriti, three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, three kinds of energy, right? And then individual gunas, Uttama, Jiva, Madhyama Jiva, Adama Jiva. These three. Understood? Okay. So this one, so Prakriti Gunaihi Karmani Kriyate. That means all the actions happen from these three causes. So this is karma. That means if I am teaching today, you are listening today, who is the cause of listening, or who is the cause of teaching?
All three.
I'm asking about you, like, who is responsible for you to listen?
I am.
Okay, that is this one.
Yes.
Then your ears should work, your nervous system should work, your blood should be pumping, Who is responsible for that? Okay. And then?
Willingness for you to hear.
I mean, your eyes.
That is here.
No, your nervous system is all you, individual.
No, your nervous system is not you.
You miss my nervous system.
No, it is, that's why you say mine. You say your I is not nervous system. Mine is, yes.
Your body.
Yeah, that body, you don't control your body.
I mean, when they use me, they use the connotation is not, it's your whole thing. Your body, your mind, your senses and everything, right?
But here, when I say individual, it is Icha only, desire. Nature is every physical thing in you that makes you, is this nature. That means, even if you wish to hear and your ears are not working, can you hear? No. So even though there is individual Icha, Prakruti does not give support. What happens? You cannot. Where does God come?
The fact that I'm living.
No. These two are because of God. Right? Prakriti. Why? How is Prakriti working? What is the energy behind Prakriti? Prakriti is not, an independent mover. Ishvara Icha. Ishvara Icha. Without, see, there is a saying, an old saying, Tena vina trunam api na chalati. Have any of you heard this? Without God's will, not even a blade of grass moves. Right? What does that mean? Any karma that happens, first is Icha of God. Then it happens through this, but because of this. So this is the prime, or this is the principal actor.
So why there is Icha of God behind bad karmas also?
Yes, I will tell you that. That's a very good question. Right? That comes to here. Right? So, God is the principal actor. That means without God's Icha, nothing will happen. Whether good, bad or ugly karma will not happen without God's Icha. Everything that happens is the Icha of God.
So you don't control that. I thought it's individual what you desire.
No, Icha of God. So, God's desire. Let's say this is there. This is the prime reason everything happens. Is Ishvara Icha. Let's say Ishvara Icha.
God's grace.
Icha. Desire.
Desire. But the other part of that is to make sure I'll go.
But even
You can't just say I'm not going to do anything because everything is your Icha.
No.
That's the other thing.
So Purusha Karma, what sprouts from within.
Right.
Even if you say that's also under
No,
God's
the
control.
Purushakara, how did you get Purushakara? Did you design it? Where did it come from?
The thought.
No, the ability for you to take control of things, the means to do, did you design it or I design it? No, it is, right? It is something that we have found out His works. How did it get there that way? Ishvara Icha, right? That's what it is. But we take control because it is there. It is like we have a car and there is a steering. Because there is a steering, we sit there but who gave the steering? Ishvara Icha, right? That's basically, because that steering is there, we can steer around and all that. If the steering was not there, what? Right? So the control.
The concept of good and bad karmas that we gave it, human beings, not God. So all karmas are karmas basically under God's eyes. That's what.
No.
We gave it. We classified them as good and bad.
No.
Based
Remember
on,
we.
based on our concepts.
No, Hita. Right? Remember, Hita. Right?
I think
Satyam.
one good way to explain this point is doctors. I'm sure there are a few doctors in here somewhere.
You are talking to one.
Doctors can tell you why you are alive. For example, they'll tell you all the symptoms, your heart rate, your blood pressure, everything. They'll tell you
how you are alive.
How you are alive. They'll prove that you are alive. But if you ask them why you are alive, they will not have an answer.
Do you?
Why you are?
I don't want to put it on the spot. But so I think that's the difference is that the doctor will tell you or explain to you that you are alive. They describe all the attributes and parameters that
Right.
that prove that you are existing.
I mean,
But
you
why
need a
did-
doctor to tell you're alive.
No, but you have the way as a means.
Healthy,
Yeah.
The doctor,
But the question is
Gita
why?
class will say it's Ishwarichan.
The question is, where is the life in you? For example, what is there in you that is sustaining you? Where is that battery power coming from?
Yeah, all life beings, for example, bacteria and small.
But the same thing is that if I chop my hand off, I'm still going to live. Okay, my hand becomes inanimate.
Please don't do that. You need to do writing.
Yeah, that's right. But so the question is, where is life? Right now, life is in this hand.
No, life is not in your hand. Life, it's not. Your hand is not essential for your survival. That's why you can still live. But there's certain.
Okay, I think let's go through this and probably get the discussion at the end of this. First thing is this: any action that happens is because of Ishvara Ichcha. Without Ishvara Ichcha, nothing happens. Now the question is, whatever I am doing, is it my action or is it God's action?
My action.
Your action. So that means Ishvara Ichcha is the battery
Yeah,
for everything.
that's right.
Right? The next one is nature. Nature is the physical cause of everything. Nature is the physical cause, the body, the brains, and all of those things. And how it is designed, we don't control it. We have got that body and we use it. And whatever abilities that it's given, we use those abilities, right? We are using it. We are not the creators of it. Where is it created from? Nature. Nature created the body. Nature gave us the buddhi for humans, a certain kind of buddhi for animals, and all of those things. You're born as a human, so you get by default that kind of an ability. So that is given. How did nature get that kind of ability? Ishvara Ichcha. Right? What shaped nature is Ishvara Ichcha. Right? And nature has given the ability. Now where does that individual come? So I'll give you an example now. You have a mango seed. There is a person who plants the mango seed, tends to it, waters it, and tends to it, and when it becomes a tree. How did the mango tree come about, or a mango fruit come about? An individual was there to plant the seed and all of that. That is this. The land in which it was sown, the sun, the environment, the water, and all of those things, Prakruti. That it is a mango tree, dependent on what? Mango seed, individual. Right? So that the person who cultivated does not determine the nature of the seed. He tends to every seed equally and plants them equally. What it grows into, whether it's a guava tree or a mango tree or a pine tree, is determined by what?
The nature.
No, the seed.
So if I plant,
Nature equally helps everything, right? Whatever seed you put, nature helps everything. Nature, the sun and the soil and all of those are equal for all of them. But whether it's a mango tree or a guava tree or a pine tree or an oak tree depends on what? The seed. And what is that seed? Individual. Ishvara Ichcha creates physical creations, physical forms, physical environment, physical circumstances, and triggers individual tendencies. That's why God is also called cause of good karma, bad karma, and good karma, rajas karma, and tamas karma. Why? Because He activates the individual to express his innate nature.
So trying to get to the issue, impact of God. So there's one mango tree.
Yes.
It has two mangoes. One seed is healthy and one seed is defective or diseased. We said the very fact that one is good and one is bad is, even though the nature part was identical, same
Yes.
tree, same soil,
That is
in God, isn't it?
that is individual. See, remember, seed, which is akin to jiva, is what? Created?
Or Jiva?
Yeah. Eternal.
Yeah.
Right?
Eternal.
So if it is eternal, God just uses as is. What is, He uses to have it express in creation. God does not create jiva, right? Brahman does not create jiva. Jiva exists with Brahman from eternity. Right? There is no beginning nor the end. Right? So each of individual nature is expressed through the body in the creation. Right? So the karma is our own. What we are in it is expressed in our karma, and then we create karmas, and then those karmas create.
You can change pretty much. So an individual, that seed, by its very nature, is going to express that nature.
Yes.
Same thing in an individual, when you're born good or bad, then you're not based on that theory. You can change. You're a bad guy, you're born bad guy.
How do you know you're born bad guy or a good guy?
I'm saying if you're a bad guy, then you can say, because that's how I...
No. This is equal to hata. This is what will persist. Right?
Nature.
Finally, I said the dog's tail.
And the nurture can change that nature into something.
Now, if the nature is tamasic, the nurture can change for a little bit, but then you go back to the old ways. This is like, when we were talking about karma and the three causes of karma. What are the three causes of karma? Daiva, Purushakara, Hata. And as an example, I said, look at it as a person rowing a boat in an ocean. The rowing of boat is what? Purushakara, individual effort. The wind that is blowing is Daiva, right? Your previous karma and all of those things. That you persist in rowing the boat is what? Hata. How much hata you have. What will persist in you eventually when everything wears off. Right? Even the bad people, due to good karmas, have some good things that eventually fizzles away. And they revert to their hata. Basically, we always align to hata. Right? This is how. So this is where the good, bad and ugly karmas come from.
So the hata is basically a genetic makeup.
No, not genetic. Jiva Subhava. Yeah. Whatever genetic, body and all of those things are all here. This is the Chaitanya. This is not nothing to do with physical. So this is nature. Is this clear? Any questions?
How do you explain the Hata nature for Valmiki? Because he was a robber first and he transformed into
Right.
So was his Hata previously?
No, Hata is not previous. Hata is always. Right? It is your swabhava. I mean, that's what you are. Not the swabhava is your personality. I'm talking about your innate Chaitanya swabhava. So your external personality is dependent on the circumstances, your achievements and all of those things are that. But whether that persists or you change, how you align to. It's like, your hata is like this line. Your circumstances change you like this and like this and like that. Finally, you align like that. You align basically to that thing of...
Having a helpful nature, having a religious predisposition, they all hatas.
Need not be.
Part of hatas.
It depends on whether it persists or not. What persists is your true self. What, wears off, it is acquired. Right? It is acquired. And you can acquire. You can acquire, but it does not resonate what you are. But you acquire it, but finally it wears off. And then you align your
true colors.
Your true color, basically. That is exactly what Varna is. Jati and Varna, that Varna is the true color he's talking about. The color of Jiva Swabhava is what Varna is. That's the Varna. Is it clear now? So we have, I think, two kinds of causes of karma. We talked about Purushakara, Hata and Daiva. Now we are talking about God, nature and individual. Ishvara. So you can express that in many different ways. We will see another way. 5 causes of karma. Right? But it's like, if you group them differently, you come back to this. Daiva is basically, God. In Purushakara, Daiva and all that. And Hata is here. And your Purushakara comes from you and nature. Basically, that's what it is.
Now, this is not, this is relevant to what you're saying, the Ishwar Ichha that I'm hearing from such a long time. And then, I don't know, I just had this in my mind. Now, an individual is very, very healthy, takes care of everything, jogging, this, that. But it so happens, one of my friend, he went to Kargil, he was in military, and he did everything. He was saved from that war and everything. He returned back home and everything was nice. He was a very healthy individual. But he was just going back for a visit to a sacred place, and his car met with an accident and he died. His whole family died.
Wow.
So is that see, he's been doing good karma. What do you say then?
No.
What do you say?
So you missed a lot of things that we have learned, but it's all there. The audio recording is there. For those who don't know, it's the IndianRenaissance.com, and if you want to become part of the email list for this class, give me your email ID and I can send you all those stuff. But see, it is your karma is not just what you do now. What you have done before, prarabdha karma and all of those things are there. It's not like, hey, I did this today, tomorrow I'll get the results.
Not today, but you've been good, nice, all the way along.
That means your future is good. But who knows what you were in the past? Right? So what you happened to you is from the past. What you did now will be reflected in the future.
You mean the next janam?
It can be next generation, it's in the same life or whatever it is. Births, it's not just one. But you need a comprehensive, a framework to understand that. We'll have to go back to all those classes. So
we're adding to our Sanchita every day.
Yeah. So, and where was I now?
5 causes.
5, okay. Okay, so 3 causes, right? So Daiva, which we have done before, which is now coming in terms of luck and all of those things, that's Daiva. Purushakara, my effort. Hata is that in which I persist, my nature. Again, 3 causes of karma: Ishvara Ichha, Prakruti, and my Hata. These are 3. Now there are 5 causes of karma in the 18th chapter, and it is very good. What Krishna is saying there is very relevant here. Ahankara vimoodatma karta aham iti manyate. That is basically what is illusion of control. Karta aham iti manyate. I am the doer. That illusion that we get is the illusion of control. And what is that illusion of control? And I keep giving the example of, hey, I turned the light on. Right? I turned the light on. It's fine. But next day I turn the switch and the light doesn't come on. So I say, if you really turned the light on, why didn't the light turn on? Because what you did was turn the switch on. And then there was power and everything was there, so the light came on. Then the next time you turn the switch on, the switch is not working. And you can go to different levels. Next time you wish to turn on, your hand is not working. You cannot do anything, right? So, from the wish to turn the light on to the light coming on, it is not just one cause. It is multiplicity of my wish, my body parts working, my nervous system working, everything is working. Switch is working, the building wiring is fine, there is power, the bulb is okay. If all of those are okay, then the light will come on. Is the reality. But we take all that away, all the complexity away, and what do? I turn the light on, which is not the reality. So what we are doing here is humans are biased against, or not against, biased for themselves as the causes, and they minimize or ignore all the other causes. Right? So that is the illusion of control. So Krishna in the 18th chapter is a very beautiful, that's the chapter where he summarizes the whole Gita. He says, Panchaitani Karanani Nibodhame. There are 5 causes of karma. Any karma that happens anywhere, there are 5 causes. What are the 5 causes? Adhisthana, Karta, Karana, Chesta, Daiva. There are 5 causes. What is Adhisthana? What does Adhisthana means? Huh? No, Adhisthana means place. So that means our settings, our context, our surroundings, the place, that is the first cause of karma. Okay, who can explain that? How is my settings the cause of karma?
Depends on where you're born. If you're born in, someplace like Afghanistan, how you're going to turn out.
To be a Taliban.
Is what?
Depends on where you're born.
Exactly, right? Where you are born sets the context in which how you perceive the world, how you express, what you desire, they are all shaped by your environment.
Nurture.
Basically, that is Adhisthana. It means, instead of being born in India, if I had born in Pakistan, I would have been in a mosque teaching something else. Right? What differentiated that is the settings. Right? So we say, I have independent choice. But really, do you have independent choice independent of the context in which it told you what to choose and what not to choose? No. Right?
Even your parents means that we don't choose our parents.
Yeah.
And so even that makes a big impact on...
Well, that's all the context, right? So it is context and setting is the fundamental shaper of our perception and what we do. We are not our actions are not independent of our context. Context is the most important stuff. Right? Context is what tells us, hey, this is the kind of choice you have. This is what is good for you. This is what that shapes us, and then we choose accordingly. So if anybody says, hey, we have independent choice, I can choose. No, we cannot. We are prisoners of our context, whether you like it or not. That's what determines how we think. And our thinking determines what we choose. Right? So settings, surroundings, context is the first cause of actions. What we do. Karta is the second. That means individual desire is the second cause of action. Is basically equal to Purushakara. Right? Purushakara and Hata together is what you desire. That means what you desire has the power to take you, transcend to a little extent beyond your Adhisthana. Right? As an agent, as a Karta, you have the power to transcend the environment that shaped you and reshape things.
And this religious conversions basically from
Is what?
conversions. People convert into something else. They're born into certain religion, but then they choose to do something.
No, this is not. No, this is religion is a very narrow way of saying that. We are born in a certain culture, a certain environment, and our thinking is shaped by that. Yes, you can transform your thinking, by your Purushakara, by your as a Karta.
Getting back to Adhisthana, that's Daiva then, isn't it?
No, Daiva is a another cause.
Because you don't have any choice over where you're born, whom you're born to, and all that.
Oh, as a Daiva, yes, in the Purushakara, Daiva and Hata, yes.
Just like we're saying Karta is Purushakara and Hata. Adhisthana would seem to be Daiva.
No, Adhisthana is not Daiva. Which Adhisthana you got is because of Daiva.
Yeah,
Yes.
because of Daiva.
Karma, prarabdha karma, where you...
Correct. Yes. That determines the context. The prarabdha karma and all of those things determine the context in which you are born. And the context shapes your thinking. Your thinking is what is needed for choice. What you choose and what you do is based on thinking. So therefore, your environment is the number one cause of your karma. Number two cause of karma is desire. You can train in yourself to transcend the imprisonment, the limitations of the context, and go beyond it to a small extent, not too much, but to some extent, you can transcend the limitations of your environment, your context, all of those things. The power is there in Purushakara. Purushakara is that powerful.
Like Vibhishana, for instance.
Vibhishana. Vibhishana, right? Vibhishana born as an asura, but transcended that. So that is because of his Purushakara. That's basically Karta. That's the second cause. What's the third cause? Karana. Karana means the different indriyas we have, the different sense organs of actions. These are the causes of karma. Basically, right? What we see and we do.
How do you spell that? K-A-R-N-A?
K-A-R-A-N-A. Karana. Not Karana, it's Karana. Karana.
And what is Karana?
Karana means instrument, tool, instrument. In this sense, it's the tool that we use. A karta cannot do things without a karana. You need a tool, like you have a pen and a book. That is your karanas.
So it describes the physical. Does it describe the physical?
It is physical. Physical, yeah, physical. It's all in this nature realm. Karana, Chesta, all these are nature. So these karanas, these are direct causes of actions, right? Your hands and legs and all of they directly cause actions.
Your body.
Your body. So that is another third cause of action. Chesta. Basically, different activities of those organs are directly the causes of those actions. Right? So, the place in which you are, the context and setting in which you are, your desires, the organs of actions, their various potencies and their various activities, all of these are the causes of actions, karma that you do. That means in the absence, so let's say in the absence of, and the fifth one is daiva. Daiva means what? That which you don't control. That which comes from your previous karma. So you may have been good now, but what you did in the past we don't know. So what happens to us comes from the past. That is what daiva is. Right? Adrushta, daiva is that. Now, Krishna says, everything that happens always has these 5 causes. Give me an example of some karma and let's analyze it from these 5 aspects. Are all the 5 present? What happens if one of them is absent? Like, let's say you're writing a book, you're writing in the book. Adhisthana. Right? Adhisthana determines, we have a place, first of all. 1, the context in which you are born, determine the interest that you have and the motivation to come to the class and learn and all of those things. That is the first cause of actions. Right? And the desire to write, the desire to learn, the desire to capture is what? The second cause of karma. Third one, Karana. What if you didn't have a Karana? Yes. You cannot write. So you might have the desire, you might have all of those things, but if you are missing your karmendriya or your jnanendriya, what happens? You cannot. Right? Is it already 12? Wow, okay. Okay, I'll finish this and we can complete. Okay, so that is one. And then finally, you have your hands and legs. They don't work well. Even then, your karma is flawed. And finally, all of those things are there, but you don't get the opportunity to do that. That opportunity, that enablement and all of those things come from Daiva. So, for anything to happen in any domain, even a simple teaching or writing or even listening, you always need 5 causes. If any of the 5 is absent, that karma is not done. But what does the individual do? The individual, what he does is, he completely inflates the karta aspects and completely ignores adhisthana, karana, chesta, daiva, everything. And that we don't do it consciously. I mean, I'm not talking about durankara. It's not ego because of a position. It is being humans, being part of nature. The nature has designed it in such a way that by nature we minimize all the other aspects of the causes of karma and we inflate us as the direct causes of karma. And that is what Krishna says, ahankara. Ahankara is the tattva that we have, which inflates something that we do and deflates something that we don't do, or something that other does. That is ahankara. Ahankara vimuda, fooled by it, deluded by it. Karta, this doer thinks, aham iti manyate. I did it. When, hey, I was riding an elephant, an ant was riding an elephant, and the elephant smashed the fort, and the ant did a high five, hey, we did it. Right? But who actually destroyed the fort? It's the elephant, not the ant. Ant was just riding on the elephant. So that ant is the karta. But we inflate it as that is the only cause of the karma that we do. So that is what. So this is the cause of illusion of control. So next time, I don't know, in January when we meet, we'll go through the other aspects of that and how it affects what we do, how do we remove this illusion of control, and then how to focus on enabling the means, our controlling only the means, but not the end and all of those things. And the final topic is desire. Because what motivates action? Desire. And so Arjuna asks about desire, and Krishna talks, that's the most fantastic portion of this chapter. So, next time, in January, whenever, probably first week or second week, we'll do all the other things. Okay. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardana Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum Om